First of all, Alan, on behalf of your sports winner, we'd just like to say many congratulations winning the Premiership Championship last week with the Swindon Robins. I've got to ask you, have your feet touched the ground yet?
Yeah, not really had a chance to celebrate it, unfortunately. We kind of left after the meeting, and obviously the boys of Jason went off to the Grand Prix, and the other boys were here, there and everywhere still. But hopefully come next Thursday it'll sink in a bit more, really, when you're in front of the fans and the riders there, we'll be there to celebrate.
Yeah. Well, we'll touch on that shortly as well. Let's take you back to before the start of last season. You put the side together. Just tell us a little bit about why you put these certain riders together, what you were hoping for from them from the season before we started. So we'll start with obviously the captain, Jason Doyle.
Well, obviously Jason couldn't improve on his average, but what we would get from Jason, is double figures most weeks, and we pretty much got that. So that was the thing. We since we lost Lee Adams, or since he retired, and then sadly he got hurt, we've never really had an out-and-out number one, and I always felt that it was important to have that.
Yeah. Okay. Adam Ellis next, former Paul rider, came to Robins and had an excellent season prior to that.
Yeah, no, Adam, I'm a big fan of Adam's, and yes, he come in on a high average. I thought realistically it'd be tough for him to hit it, but I just felt that once he got into his true position, I felt that he would settle down, and he certainly did that. I thought he was excellent, considering people were baying for his blood, at the start of the season, but he certainly turned it round after a few months.
Yeah. Bradley Wilson-Dean as well, coming in, stepping up to the Premiership.
Yeah, no, it was fairly new for Bradley. Obviously, he was going to be tough. Certainly, in an ideal world, he should have been starting down at reserve. But unfortunately, he started in the main body of the team and struggled for a bit at the start. But, a few times found his feet. But I think all in all, he didn't have a bad season.
And of course, Nick Morris, a lot was hoped that Nick would have a good season, and he certainly did that, didn't he?
Yeah, no, there was lots of things going on with Nick, and there was a lot of people telling that we shouldn't have Nick back and stuff like that. But I was fairly confident that Nick would show his true colours this year, and he certainly did that.
Another rider you started off with at the beginning of the season, Emil Grondel. We'll talk more about why it didn't work out with him later on, but what we were initially hoping to get from him.
Well, unfortunately, it's a numbers game, and Emil was sort of average fitted in, and I kind of looked up, on the YouTube clips and stuff because I didn't really know much about him, and I thought, he had the opportunity to show what he had, and unfortunately, it didn't kind of work really. He had a good meeting at Rye House, and and the odd one at Swindon, but we were always just trying to look for that rider. We were, as I say, I think if I'm really honest, at the start of the year, we were always really one rider short to make the team complete.
Yeah. And just last of all, to start your team off the beginning of the season, young Zach Wozniak coming in, and youngster. Nobody knew a lot about Zach, but did well. And we'll talk more about his injury a bit later.
Zach. People were telling me I should have gone with James Shanes, but I was proven right that Zach was the right choice. He was, up until his crash, he was having a fantastic season. So good on a bike and rides the bike superbly. And I thought he had a fantastic season until that obnoxious slide off when he came into the pit turn and hurt his spleen.
Okay, so that was your team that you put together to start the season. Now, quite a few of the so-called experts, we'll say so-called experts, were saying, oh yeah, Swindon Robins are going to finish bottom of the table, wooden spooners. What did you think when you heard and read comments like that? Were you that bothered?
No, not really, because I always felt that we would have there was always scope in the team for riders to improve. Okay, Jason, and I knew Adam coming on a high average, but I mean, really, I think my trump card really this year was David Balago, and he came in and he had a fantastic year, and he tailed off a little bit towards the end, but but he certainly done the job more than what anybody expected. So yeah, I wasn't really worried what other people thought. I even had promoters telling me they reckon it was the worst team they've ever seen. I won't name a name and shame, but he's quite highly respected in the game.
Do you think it just motivated you more and took the pressure off you and piled it onto others instead?
Not really. You can use it when you have your talks and your speeches with the riders when you're trying to motivate them, but generally it didn't bother you. There's not a lot you can do once you made that your choice and made your decision. You've got to get on with it, and I didn't think it was as bad as everybody was making out. Otherwise, I don't think I would have put the team together.
Into your first couple of meetings, you lost against Leicester away, and then at home you lost just by 2 points to Bellevue, who were, for many people, possibly favourites to win the league. That was 2 meetings gone, 2 defeats. You weren't alarm bells weren't ringing inside you at that stage by any means.
No, it wasn't the ideal start. But obviously the draw as well against Paul. So at the start of the year, it was all looking a bit doom and gloomy, to be fair. But I always felt that there was better to come, and it certainly did.